Hello everyone, my name is Annual and today we're going to be talking about the newest unit, Argent Waves Hwayoung. So, she had just released about a day ago, a day or two ago honestly. I was supposed to release the video as of yesterday, but I kind of just didn't feel like doing anything for 4th of July, so I kind of pushed it back. But we're here today and we're going to speak about Hwayoung, and this is basically first impressions, and what this means is that we're not jumping to any conclusions about how strong or weak the character is. I'm just going to lay it down of how I feel about the character as of playing her within the first 24 hours. And so far I think she's actually a very good unit and she does her job as a bridge, and I want to make that very clear that she is a bridge unit, meaning if she does not one-shot Arunka, I think that is perfectly fine. If anything, she does a huge chunk of damage to her, and once she pushes up, and if you're using Conquer Lawyers, takes an extra turn, she will do a decent chunk of damage to the team and push up your DPS, which can follow up and finish off the job, which is exactly what you want for a bridge unit to do. They don't necessarily need to one-shot something, they don't necessarily need to cancel, like shut off someone's passive, but they want to connect your team together so that your DPS can take a turn. And I think she does a perfectly good job of that with not too heavy gear requirements. So far the two builds that I think I've seen so far off of watching other people is definitely Destruction Torrent or Speed Torrent, penetration set with double torrent, or maybe pen set instead of torrent set. Across those builds, and the speed kind of varies between 200 and 230, but those seems to be the one that's working. And I think the worst thing that I ran into when using her is definitely the artifact. If you don't have it at plus 30, you're basically running a low RNG chance to ignore damage sharing, which can make or break, or make the difference between you winning a match or not. It kind of functions the same way as like a Storm Sword missing attack buff, which is a lot of damage down on Celine, or missing a bomb on Caesarea already, which is also a lot of damage loss. But anyways, I do want you guys to take a look at this little tier list I've made, which is just combo units and counter picks into Hwayoung. It's just some of the things I put here on the list to test out. I didn't get to test everything, but off of what I've seen, some of the things are pretty good value. For instance, Sez is a really good follow-up DPS because of the fact that if Hwayoung's kick takes you low enough to proc Sez's passive, you proc Encroach, which is going to be nice AoE damage, you S3, and practically whoever the target is left is slow enough for Sez to finish off, and you get nice pop damage into the full team. It's a really good combo pick for Sez. BBK is always a good DPS, so pushing up is great. RB is a safe pick. Celine had a really interesting interaction where if I saw it from Nullervolt's video, I'll put it up on screen, but if you actually revive that in that same skill, it triggers the non-attack skill. So units like Ruel or literally any revive unit will proc Hwayoung's passive if she hadn't used it already, which is a really interesting interaction. I think it will pair very well with characters like Spirit Eye Celine to help pick off characters. It'll make it a lot easier to pick off characters for Celine as well as to pick off people off the team. Strage is a pretty good bridge unit to combo, so like you can lower his speed, which means you can pop up his gear requirements. If you're able to get like Zio open, Taeyu is a really good option because you get more damage out. And then everything else is just combo picks you can put in the back row to help you out. Just to be clear, everything on this list is not necessarily how strong they are in the meta, it's just combo picks, right? So if you can somehow get it to work, it will work, right? And I put comments under everything here, basically what they would practically do. Like Juno is a safe pick, can't go wrong with Flan, Morit can't go wrong, right? One of the more interesting things I ran into was like Fire Lilius. If your opponent's picking a non-attack skill, if they basically ignore the Fire Lilius, you get to proc Swallow Kick off of Hwayoung, which is a really good combo pick. So I thought that was a very good thing. Some other things to talk about is all these openers are very good with her, especially Conquer Lilius because she gets Vigor buff, which is extra turn. And no surprise that these two openers are very good. You seal, you get the quick kick, makes things a little bit easier to deal with, especially if you're fighting an Ilnov. Para gives swift attack, which means more turns, especially because of the fact that Hwayoung has CR pushing for your back row. It kind of leads to a bunch of CR pushes, which means you get to take more turns, which is really good. Now some of the things I wanted to put up was like the counter picks. Armin has 30% single target miss, so that means her Hwayoung's S2 is not going to do any damage. because there's no reduction for, there's no ignore damage reduction, so it's kind of really important for her. B-Dom, if you're running combo, this hard shuts down Hwayoung because she's gonna kick into a skill nullifier. BM Haze, you always have to be careful of him. Celine, it has high punish value for Hwayoung. Kind of the same reason for why Landy is here, and even Abyssal Yufine can go here. So Hwayoung has no survivability. She is really a nuclear unit. You want to build your nuclear because she has no survivability. I don't know if it's feasible to build survivability. I don't know how much damage you can sack in order to build survivability, but because she's a thief and thieves do not have bulk, it is really hard to build bulk. So more often than not, you're going to run into a regularly high damage Hwayoung that is made out of paper. She cannot survive. So units like Navy Captain Landy, or maybe even a Miki, who literally can counterattack and hit her once and she will die. That's kind of the same reason why Crit Rimuru is here, because if she kicks into a target that's not Rimuru, Rimuru will counter and absolutely just nuke her off the S2. So it's just those things that makes Hwayoung a little bit hard to use. As getting outsped is obviously a huge counter to her. If she gets outsped, your opener needs to do a non-attack skill to proc Hwayoung. So if your opener just gets controlled or destroyed, pushed back, whatever, then Hwayoung can't do her thing, and if Hwayoung can't do her thing, she's just going to straight up die. She can't survive, right? And all these on her are just tac picks you can use along with her. So this is just all the things I came up with. There probably is some more things that I missed. Maybe even Ran, right? Ran's not a bad character. I didn't add him here because he's not too good right now. But you can technically pick Ran and go on and like do that. But I think in terms of strength, if I were to rate Hwayoung as a unit, I'd probably put her somewhere alongside, she's not even on the website right now, interesting. Let's just use Karen for example. If this was like double SSA, it should probably be like right here. She's not, I don't think she's OP, but I think she's good, which is, I think is a very good thing. I don't necessarily believe that we should just get OP units back to back to back. I think as long as they're balanced and they have their usability in whatever situations they need to be applied to, for instance, once again, Hwayoung is a bridge, I think that is good. And I think for that reason, Hwayoung is a strong unit. She's definitely not bad. I wouldn't call her bad at all just because she doesn't one-shot Aroka. I think she's pretty good. But that's pretty much it for the first impressions. I'll be back next week with anything in terms of like my full review of the character, how you should build her stat specifically, so I can guide you guys on how to use her exactly. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.